The reality about marriage is that there are many assumptions that we have before we get into it. And I think these assumptions varies from where we grew, how we grew up, where we grew up, the culture where we grew up. So we have different assumptions. And some of those assumptions are also colored by the movie stars that we watch, the movie stars that we follow, the movies that we see. And some of those assumptions can create some form of shock for some of us when we get into a relationship or when we get into marriage. We've decided to do this video to bring to the fore some of these assumptions so that you can prepare yourself. If you are looking for love, if you're looking to start a serious relationship that you hope will lead into marriage, you need to be able to know some of these assumptions and check if you hold any of these beliefs, any of these myths, and see how you can now correct. I won't tell you which one I had or which one she had. If you can guess, write it in the comment section as you go along.
So are you trying to tell them that what you ordered is not what you got?
No. What I ordered is what I got. But, sometimes when you order something, like when you buy a phone and you only know some key features, but as you read the manual, you now begin to discover some more features. For example, there was a phone I used to use that I can just give it an instruction and you to dial somebody specific, So I didn't know it had that function until I found out by reading the manual. So what I ordered is what I got, but I think I got more than.
You better be careful. Hey, great people, you're welcome to our channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. It's always a delight to have you. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
At the Foundation for Family Affairs, we talk everything romance, intimacy, and family. And we're excited about this because we've had sessions with people and we've just seen their eyes go up like, so let's look into some of it. We'll be talking about it. If you have more points, feel free to drop them in the comment section. We will respond.
Absolutely.
And if you're new to our channel, hey, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it so you know when we drop our content. Now let's dive into this. We'll be talking about 5 shocking realities of marriage. So do you want to tell us the first one? I hope it's one of the ones that was your thing.
Well, okay, I will not give that clue out. I'll let you guys find out. Okay. So one of the assumptions, one of the shocking assumptions that people have about marriage is that your partner is responsible for your happiness. Your partner is responsible for your happiness. So this is a narrative that has been created sometimes by probably a cultural background or the kind of movie that we see. And you see someone that is unhappy and feeling lonely and they think that if they get into a relationship, they get married to this soulmate, the person will make them happy. Yes. The person can help to create an atmosphere that will help you to be happy, that will make you to be happy. But if you are a naturally sad person, there's no amount of effort to make you happy. So you have to take responsibility for your own happiness. Another thing is this. If, for example, you make an error, you marry the wrong person and the person wants to make your life miserable, it means you've given your power away to somebody else. You have to decide that you have the right to be happy. That being happy is your choice. It's your personal decision. And so you hold that power. You don't give that power away to your boss, you don't give that power away to your spouse, you don't give that power away. But I have to put a caveat. Someone should not come into your life to make your life miserable.
I was going to ask.
Otherwise, it's better to be by yourself. What do you think?
Do they not contribute to your happiness?
They do contribute. Like you are contributing to my happiness, but it will be too much burden for me to put on you that, okay, I'm not happy today. You make me happy.
Yes.
How do you feel 100%. Thinking about that? So it's automatically you thinking about that. I don't know if that makes you feel.
That's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight to put on you, right? Because I have a part to play in that. Yes. So what other reason do you think? What other shocking reality do you think people find out when they get into a relationship or marriage?
I think sometimes people get into marriage and they don't expect their spouses will evolve.
Very true.
Are you still married to the same woman you married?
No.
Over a decade ago.
By a long shot, no.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it should be an expectation that when we're going to marriage, we know that this person will go through different phases. I'm not the new bride who married my husband. A lot has since happened. I mean, we've gone through different experiences. I personally have had to improve on other aspects of my life. So with more exposure, I think there are more demands, more responsibilities. So it is just expected that my spouse would know that I've made some adjustments. The question then is he even catching up with the adjustments? That's one. Okay. And if he is able to meet me at that point, does he expect me? What are his expectations of me as a woman who's had that level of exposure? Because this is where we then have problems later. You don't expect your spouse to remain the same person. I think it would be unfair to expect that she would be the same woman you married whenever you did, and you don't expect her to make any changes or query some decisions. Yeah, I'm going to rocky waters now. Query some decisions or ask some questions. It matters, like we were saying in our last video, the tone, you know, how you put it across, knowing that yes, your tone, your words make up only 7% of what you say. Okay, your tone and your body language make up a lot more. So that's really crucial. But then there should be the expectation that your spouse will grow, your spouse will evolve.
I want to be cheeky now.
Okay.
So, how do you think I have changed in the past almost 12 years?
Oh my goodness.
Of being married?
Oh my goodness. I think you've changed more. You were a great man when I married you. Right. But you're a lot more, I see there's a lot more responsibility. I wouldn't have known that, but I think the years have shown it. That, okay, it's just like a lot has been saddled on you and you've risen up to the occasion. A lot more responsibility, even spiritually, leading the family. Sometimes when you get married, not until you're put in certain situations, you wouldn't realize an aspect of your spouse. So the aspect of you I've had to see through the transitions we've made, through the changes we've had to go through.
Fantastic. Another area where I want to come into is in terms of how people evolve. You know, sometimes the needs of a woman will evolve.
Yes.
All right. Her needs will evolve, what she wants as a woman when we got married over about almost 12 years ago. And her needs now has completely evolved. Her priorities in life has evolved. All right. Her skill sets. Oh, my wife is a greater speaker than she was when we started. My wife was not shy, but reserved. She would take her time, all right, to accept such opportunities. But now, bring it on. I'm telling you. Let's do it. So I've seen her grow. I've seen her evolve in that regard. I've seen her in your capacity to love and to forgive has evolved. Oh my God. I've seen people that have hurt you. I've seen how you've even been the one bringing people together and trying to make relationship work. So that's many ways to evolve. Another way a woman also can evolve is their sexual needs.
Yes.
All right. What may be turning a woman on 5 years ago may not turn your wife. What may be turning your wife on 5 years ago may not be turning her on today. And same may apply to your husband. So you have to put into consideration that people will evolve, and so you don't try to do what used to work, and you are frustrated that they are not responding with the same excitement. It may be because they've evolved and they may not be able to articulate it, but that's the issue. All right, so the people should grow, people should evolve, people should be better. The better you are, the better your relationship. The better you are, the better your relationship. All right, so
and I think I like the point you made, because it just keeps you pursuing your spouse. It just keeps you wanting to explore your spouse. What new changes your spouse is being exposed to. Just catch up. So it's not nice when one person is growing and the other isn't. Okay, I think we've overplugged this issue now. Let's move on. You share the next reality.
I was processing in my head which one should I. So another reality I think is a shocking fact or shocking reality for people when they get married is that they don't know that marriage requires skill. Or let me put it in another way, that your personality and your skills can impact the quality of a marriage. I'll explain what I mean.
That's right.
Now, if you have a personality that like to win arguments, that you like to have the final say, or like if that's your personality, that's your makeup, that is a negative. It might have a negative impact on your relationship, especially when it comes to conflict, right? Because you want to win. You worship winning. You worship winning an argument. You worship winning the final, having the final say in a conversation. Oh, that is a personality type that might be, might have contrary or negative impact on your relationship, right? Because your partner, if they are the type that always keeps quiet, like, okay, let you win, what will happen is that they will implode. And if they are the other way around, that they want to win, both of you will be on each other's neck. Means that nobody's going to win, and you're going to be creating a toxic environment all the time. So you have to have that kind of system whereby, you know what, this is my personality type, so what do? You have to be able to say, you know what, have ground rules. Those ground rules are good, but they are better when they are followed. In other words, we don't say, oh, we don't scream in this house, but when it's time, you scream. No, there's no point having ground rules that are not followed. So ground rule means we have policy in this marriage that we don't allow disagreement to go beyond a day. Because from experience, we found out that if you don't address an issue quickly, you may not even remember the detail, but the emotions will just there and linger too on and for a long time, and it's not good for your relationship. So that's one key thing. Another side to that is the skill sets. If you don't have good communication skills, or I just feel like, you know what, I just want to say it the way I feel. I just want to say it, I like to say things the way they are. And you come from that mindset. Okay, that's what you've seen, that's what you've been exposed to. You might need to improve your communication skills.
Yes.
It's like public speaking. I remember when I was learning how to do public speaking, I read tons and tons of books. In fact, my library at some point had almost maybe 15 books on public speaking that I've read, not just, just acquiring. I've actually read. And I learned different things from different points. For example, one of the things I learned from the communication books I read was that the energy of the conversation is coming from the person initiating conversation. Yes. So if you are going to share a point with anger, your partner is going to feel that energy. All right. So if you, for example, you're standing in front of people, you're not excited about the point you're going to share, your audience will not be excited about you because the energy is coming from you. So they're going to be mirroring your energy. So if you are coming with an attacking tone and an attacking energy, your partner will pick that energy and they may respond in kind rather, and that will not be positive. So you might look different areas where you maybe you lack skill and you want to improve. I just wanted to mention communication because that's easy for people to identify. Another one is financial management. If you don't have good financial management skills, it can impact your marriage. You just take credit card or you take debit card and you just spend without consulting with your partner, and because of your habit, you are dragging the family into financial debt all the time. You are buying things that you are hiding from your wife, your husband. It's not good.
That's a very, very critical point you've just shared. And feel free to ask questions.
Absolutely.
Have questions. Okay, so is it my turn?
It's your turn now. What do you think is another thing that shocks people that you say like, I didn't know this?
As you were speaking, I think I'll take a cue from something you said. Your background can impact the quality of your marriage.
Absolutely.
Your background. This would include our experiences.
Yes.
Our previous relationships.
Yes.
So, like, there's an example I like to use every time I talk about things like this. The example of a lady who, while she was young, I mean, when they were younger, they had uncles living with them, and the uncles at night would keep him to touch them. They complained to mom. Mom spoke with dad and said to them, I think your brothers need to leave the house. But he wouldn't. It was like, since he was the first, it was his responsibility to take care of them. So mom thought, okay, I'm not going to leave my children, my girls, at your mercy. So she got them shorts. So every night before going to bed, they wear their shorts. What this lady did not realize was this conditioned her. Now that's experience. For sure, So she came into marriage and would wear shorts to bed. her husband at some point thought, no, I don't like this. Like, come on, I want to see something attractive. So he got her some lingerie, expecting that things would change. She would wear them, but when it was time for her to get into bed, she would go back to, she'll go for her shorts. Not until he queried, why do you do this? She didn't even realize it had just become a part of her. So she had to go down memory lane to think and realize, this was the point where it became a thing. So sometimes our experiences, especially if they are experiences that traumatized us, they could affect us.
Yes.
They could affect the quality of our marriage if we're not careful. And that's why sometimes we need to be querying some things. We need to query past traumas as well. Someone growing up who saw an abusive marriage could think it's okay to do certain things to to the person of the opposite sex or to the other spouse. After all, dad did this or mom did this and it was fine. So sometimes our experiences, our background could impact the quality of our marriage. So it is important that from time to time, we like to say, do the temperature check. How is your marriage? How does your spouse feel about your marriage? When I was talking about we evolve, through evolving, a lot of things happen. One person may not be okay with the way things are, but with constant talk, with constant communication, like you were saying earlier, we'll be able to keep abreast of what's going on. Just be on the same page as a couple. Very important.
That's so powerful. Our background has a lot to do, right? Because that is what it's like when you want to get a job. They look at what you're doing right now and what you've done. Because they know that the skills you demonstrated in the past, they can use it to gauge what your future will look like in our organization. So same thing applies in marriage. So the background where you're coming from, so if you've been traumatized, like you mentioned, if you've been someone who have been abandoned, you're going to have some issues. You have father issues, mother issues. While you were young, they were abandoned you and nobody gave you any explanation. And you came up with your own explanation. You may come up with a decision and make a personal vow to yourself that I will never be abandoned. So anybody that demonstrates any form of anything that looks like abandonment to you based on your own interpretation, you are going to reject people. So you see some people, no matter how much you love them, they will never reciprocate. Not that you are just afraid of being abandoned. They're afraid of opening up. They're afraid of sharing. They're afraid of letting people in because the people they've trusted in the past have abandoned them. See, some baggage. It had nothing to do with you. You may be thinking, I've shown all the love languages. I bought gifts, act of service, kind words, touch, quality time. This person doesn't reciprocate. Some people don't have love languages. They do have love languages. But because of the traumatic experience they've had in the past, it's like someone who has a deformed hand and you're asking the person to do something with that hand that you would do with a better hand. No matter how much the person has the interest, they cannot use that hand to function as they call and use that hand as much. The hand will not function as well as the hand that is functional. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's not, you need to be at peace. Sometimes someone was saying that you need to understand that there are some people that you place some expectations on, but they don't have the capacity to deliver their expectations. For example, there are some moms, some people you think, oh, this is my mother, they should do X, Y, Z. This is what a mother should do. This is what a father should do. But your dad is struggling with drugs. They can't play the role of an ideal father. You need to sacrifice. You need to let go of that expectation. Otherwise, you keep expecting people to do what they can. They are not equipped to do. And disappointment is the only outcome from that kind of expectation. So, thinking about it again, it's very important to realize that background. That's why you need to do checks. Do checks about people, find out their financial history, ask questions. So that's why we discourage singles from, you meet somebody, you start talking, you start kissing, you start having sex. All these things to blow your view from asking real questions about their background, getting to check who they are. So at the end of the day, you are emotionally involved, but you know nothing about this person's value system. Why is the value system important? Why are their values important? Is because that's what determines how they will treat you, how they will react on issues, how they will handle issues, how they will behave. Because values shape our behavior. So Having said that, the final point, it's my turn, right?
Of course.
Yes, so my turn, the next point I wanted to talk about is that love is not enough.
So some people think love is enough.
Yes. Some people think love is enough. Oh, I love him. She loves me. Yeah. That's all that matters. No.
So what you're saying is love is not enough for a great marriage.
Love is not, thank you for helping me to articulate it better. Love is not enough for a great marriage. You need more than love. Love is the foundation. All right? You need to, after you've loved someone, you need to study the person. You need to find what makes the person unique. You need to find how you can add value to the person's life. All right? So some people just say, okay, I love the person, but they don't bring anything to the table. They don't add any value to the person's relationship. Your love is good, but the person needs to see that he or she is, their lives are, his or her life is getting better because you are in it. All right? Don't just come into somebody's life with a big container to just withdraw and withdraw and withdraw. No, you have to be able to add value to this person's life. Not just that, oh, I love you and that's what it is. Like some ladies believe that being a beautiful lady is enough for a relationship. Yes, at the beginning, no, sustaining. All right? Being a beautiful lady is good. My wife brings more than a beautiful face to this relationship, I tell you. When we're trying to get our first property, she didn't just bring a pretty face. She brought real ideas. She did stuff that made our life, that has contributed to where we are. All right? So that's why it's not every relationship you can just walk away from, because the impact, the value they bring to your life, it's difficult to find somebody else to replace them. That's why some people don't recover from the loss of their partners. Not because of just the love. It's because of the sheer impact of this person in their life. It's difficult for any other person to come and fit into those shoes. Very difficult. So, love is not enough. It's a good starting point. But you must go beyond that to add real value. Not value from your point of view. Value from the point of view of your partner. In other words, if she values this, that's what I should focus on doing. If I value that, but she doesn't value it, it doesn't count, doesn't register on the radar. Whatever she values, you have to do that. You have to do that in the most befitting, in the most honorable way. Yeah.
I like that. So you're focused on pleasing your spouse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice. And
absolutely.
How beautiful the world would be when we have that.
How beautiful the world will be.
Hey, we've come here to tell you, marriage is beautiful.
Marriage is great.
You can have a great marriage.
Absolutely.
You can. If we just put in the work. You're saying love is not enough. Yes. You've got to put the work in.
Put the work
in. Do the work. I was having this conversation with a friend and she was saying, they say, why do they scare us? They tell us marriage is beautiful, and then they talk about work. You've got to do the work. Who will do it? And the work is not the way we see it. It's part of you growing, working on yourself to be a better version of yourself every time, an improvement of yourself. Working on the atmosphere in the relationship, ensuring that both parties, every party involved is happy. And the marriage will be a better place.
Yes, I want us to do this stuff that, after the video, we'll just share one random thought about marriage. Just one random thought. Any day we remember, we'll do it. Any day we don't remember. So don't hold us to it, yeah? So today, I just want to share something. Marry your friend. Marry your friend. She is my friend. All right? Marry your friend. So who is your friend? Someone that shares values with you. Values. Okay, not just someone who is in your life, someone who shares values with you, someone who adds value to you, who shares your value and who adds value to you. All right, so that person is your friend. Someone will get your back. Marry your friend.
Okay, so with that, we'll say thank you for joining us. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to hit the subscribe button and feel free to ask your questions. Leave your comments in the comment section. We'll be happy. We're always happy to read from you. And then we'll see you on the next one. You take care.